SPD 911 isn't just a show, it's your emergency response team for sterile processing. Having a diverse organization, people make the mistake in trying to make everyone the same.
SPD 911, we stand
Yeah, you're asking for a pay raise every year.
Heard the stories, seen the tears, raw and real, we face the fight, supporting each other, night and daylight.
Welcome back to SPD 911. I am your host, Dr. Jake Taylor Jacobs, President and CEO of SIPS Healthcare Solutions. And this show is all about tackling the toughest challenges in sterile processing. Whether you're on the front lines or making high-level decisions, we're here to equip you with real solutions to rescue and elevate your department. Listen, each episode I'm joined by our Director of Clinical Compliance, Sharon Green Golden, a leader in compliance and regulatory standards. And this week, we have our Director of Clinical Operations back, Derek Jones, our specialist in operational efficiency and team development. Together, we break down the critical issues affecting central sterile processing departments all over the country and provide actionable strategies to help you stay ahead. SPD 911 isn't just a show, it's your emergency response team for sterile processing. And we tackle these compliance concerns head on. We have a special thing for you, though. At the end of this episode, at the end of every episode moving forward, you will be able to earn your CEs. Now, listen. Did I sound like you, SGG? Now, listen. This means that we have taken the extra step to not only allow for this to give you the entertainment and then information that you need, but you can also use these podcast episodes as a way to ensure your certification stays up and running. Bring my team up here, Iggy, if you will, so that everybody can see their beautiful faces. What's going on, team? Listen.
Listen.
How you all week going? How's your week?
My week's good. It's a short week.
It's a short week. Well, I mean, you're pretty short, so I think every week. DJ, what about you?
Man, week is great. Glad to get the kids back to school. Man.
Is it for their education or your sanity?
You say what?
Is it for your sanity or their education? Why you want to get them back?
Well, I'm gonna say the politically correct thing is for their education. Education means so much for our youth in the world.
All right, you all, you know how we start this show. We always talk about one thing that we're grateful for. So, DJ, since you're just now coming back from your summer break, what's one thing that you're grateful for?
Man, I'm grateful for health, always health, and opportunities. You know, as we walk our journeys trying to achieve our goals, many of our goals that we try to accomplish will not be available or without an opportunity, whether it's an opportunity from a job site or an opportunity from an investor or just an opportunity to take on a class or an extracurricular course. So to help you achieve your goals. So, man, I'm grateful that I have all my faculties, that I'm in pretty decent health, that I got a strong support system in my family and external family members like friends. And man, I'm just at peace right now. I'm in a happy spot. So
good. SGG?
I'm grateful just to be able, I was thinking about it earlier, to be able to be in a position to share my knowledge and expertise from the years past with everybody. It's, you know, I'm in a place I never saw myself. And I shared just the other day that where SPD is now, Derek and Dr. Jake, we didn't see this years ago. When I first became a manager, we did not see how far this particular profession could go, would go, and is going. And I'm just grateful to be here to see it and to be able to play the part that I'm playing in helping us to do better.
And for me, I fell down the stairs. I'm 6'3", 230. I shouldn't be falling down nobody's stairs.
Oh Lord.
And the worst part was seeing myself fall and knowing I couldn't stop
Mm.
it. And then, just to give you some laughing, I landed like this.
Mm.
Oh my God.
I was the only one in the room. I was the only one in the house. I was trying to get my daughter on time to her first ever competitive cheer practice.
Oh
And
man.
I missed the step.
Mm.
Dang.
So, Karen Cherry Brown, you may be right. The sky is the limit because I was definitely in there. But I'm thankful that nothing major happened but a high sprain.
It's
I could
good.
have broke some stuff. I actually could have injured myself really bad.
Yes.
So I'm very thankful for God's grace on that. It's funny that when you just sprain something, it just kind of makes you become appreciative of all your faculties when you have them. And it makes you want to do right while you got them, not hurt. So I'm appreciative of the alarm system that God gave me on that. Hey, y'all, are we talking about some good stuff? DJ, you missed a great show.
I
Last
saw it, man.
show was on fire, not because of me, because Sharon Green Golden was in her bag. Okay.
Oh, she cooked. No,
Oh.
she stayed cooking. So
We sat on a topic. Thank you, Iggy, for bringing it up. We sat on a topic that it seemed to go extremely well, especially with the clips that went out. When we talked about friendships and differentiating, not allowing for the idea of friendship to stop you from progressing in your career. Because true friends, when you're, whether you're their subordinate or you're their leader, true friends wouldn't put you in positions to make you have to do something against the responsibility of your position. So we sat on that. We did a lot of that, and then me and SGG kind of sat on, which made me pinpoint why this week needed to be this title: standing on business versus leading with grace. There's a lot of leaders that stand on the wrong business and give grace in the wrong areas, when in fact we need to be able to identify when is the proper time to stand on business. When is it important to say, hey, this is worth me, dying on the hill on, versus I probably just need to extend grace and to continue moving forward. And so I'm excited to talk about that because SGG was ready to go. And I said, wait a minute. We got to get to another episode. We can't get
right.
all in one. And I do want to give a shout out before we get started to everyone watching right now, whether you're watching the replay, the clips, or if you're watching the live show right now. I just want to say thank you so much for entertaining our show and listening some of the great golden nuggets from SGG and some of the great operational prowess from Derek Jones. The purpose of this was just simply to be able to give you something that you can mull over lunch while improving in your career. So let's get straight to it. In this first scenario, we're talking about standing on business. So if any of you are watching right now, you want your scenario and your question answered, go to SPD911.com. And SPD911.com will allow for you to be able to join our community where you can ask these questions specifically, and we will get them answered on the show. So here's the situation, you all. A tech repeatedly skips IFUs to save time, putting patients at risk. The question is, how do you communicate non-negotiables in a way that leaves no gray area for your team, but also reinforces that you're protecting patients, not just policing the rules? Oh, we're starting off good. Oh, we're starting off good.
I'm ready, Miss Golden. Cook.
Yeah. How do you communicate those non-negotiables? And I'll add one more: without killing morale. Oh,
Okay.
that's good. I'm gonna throw that one at you, SGG. What you got, SGG?
Okay, so first of all, as the leader, I must overall generate high performance of my team by forging what I call authentic, trustful relationships.
Okay.
I have already documented with an open culture what you're supposed to do, our expectations. So now that we all know the rules of engagement, when you do not meet the rules of engagement, I am able to have that open communication where we can come and talk about what happened, why it happened, and why it cannot happen going forward. But that is only, I think, accepted when I have, first of all, with my team, they trust me and they know what is expected. Because I think what happens is people come to you, Dr. Jake, and they say, I didn't know that's what you all meant. I know that you meant to put the tray together correctly.
That's right.
I've got to have it documented where, no, this is your competency. We went over this, you passed, you signed it, so you were aware of what was expected. You did not meet that challenge and you caused a patient a problem. So, and that's not going to be accepted. And when I do that, because I have that trustful relationship with the team, when I do that with the person, and I will say this with the person, and then I come back and go over this with the team, they understand that this is the expectation for everybody, not just for Derek, not just for Dr. J. This is the expectation that you will comply with our documented competencies for this job.
All right, Derek, what you think? What's your stab at it?
I agree, but it, like Ms. Golden mentioned, it all starts with that initial engagement, job description, understanding the importance of the job, understanding your role, and what role we serve that impacts the patient. We may not have direct contact with the patient. However, the instrumentation, the supplies, and the things we use can ultimately impact outcomes in the surgery. That message needs to be promoted to our team members. Quite often, and with my experience in SPD, of course, only thing that has been promoted in the past has been about getting the job done, but not the why we're doing these things. So it's important to establish and set that table. Here are the expectations. Here's why it should be done this way. And here is who we're doing it for, which is the patient. That needs to be preached throughout the department.
Yeah.
But then second, you have to establish a process and ensuring that these things are done systematically the same way, using the best practice that we, the experts, the leaders, the infection prevention team members, and all other people who have experience and who have done the necessary training, research, and education to give us the knowledge and experience to be able to set these parameters for our department. We have to put this in writing in a form of a reference for our teams to follow, so that in the event they deviate from the process and the procedures and the policies, we can hold them accountable. At that point, if they impact patient safety, then you'll do all the necessary things to hold them accountable to the action.
I'm going to go a little step further on this question, because when we are talking about how do we communicate the non-negotiables in a way that leaves no gray area for your team, this is something that starts at your onboarding. Yeah, this is something that starts when you're reprocessing technicians into your department, because far too often we lean on certifications and experience in our need to get rid of the job. Meaning, I'm tired of doing it as a manager, supervisor, team lead, and I can't wait to hire somebody so I can say, do you know what you're doing? Okay, here, right? And what happens when we have that type of culture, it creates the space that allows for someone to think that type of work, that behavior, that processing, or that the even ability to skip something is acceptable.
Mhm.
And I like to attribute it to, and I like to go back to sports because this is where I learned discipline and processes, routines, and plays. My coach didn't care if you could jump a 44-inch vert, if you ran a 4.2, if you could shoot the ball better than Michael Jordan at the time himself. What my coach understood was, if in order for you to play on this court, you had to learn these plays. In order for me to release you and to allow for you to have that freedom to grow and expand, you have to show me that you know how to navigate in my playbook, my way, our routine. And I think that there's a lot of organizations across healthcare in general, not just sterile processing, that do the catch and release, right? I catch you and I release you quick. Versus indoctrinating them into your practices in your way that this is the standard. Because if something is truly the standard, you wouldn't allow anyone just to watch your children.
Right.
You wouldn't allow anyone just to take care of your grandbabies. You wouldn't allow anyone just to teach your child. I hope you don't. So what would you do to get somebody to watch your children a little bit at a time? Let me watch. No, I like it this way. No, Oh, when someone comes and cleans your house, what'd you say? I like my clothes folded this way. I like my dishes done that way, or else they will clean your house, or they will watch your children. They will cut your grass. They will cut your hair. They will do your hair in any way that they feel versus the way that you want it to be done. And that's only based on their experience where they are. And so when we talk about addressing this thing, I think we address it on the onset and in the beginning. And then that's the culture, to where when that happens, the culture, they don't even feel comfortable making those mistakes because of that. And then it's easier to elevate or escalate to other reprimanding ways, because there's no way possible that they would have thought that that was okay for them to do if the onboarding process was right. But historically in healthcare, what we've been able to identify, onboarding and onboarding training is cut short. You know, there's pressure put on you to get someone hired and get them into the field within a day, while you're doing everything else. And I think that those are some of the things that need to be changed or addressed, because I don't believe that would be as big of an issue as it is if we were to address it when it first comes on board. What do you think, SGG?
Well, I agree with you. And I want to say that whenever I brought a person on board, especially someone who came to me supposedly with experience, the first thing I did was let them know that they were dealing with what I consider a new sheriff. I don't want to hear what you did when you were in Chicago.
That's right.
I don't want to know how you did it in New York. Here's our onboarding orientation sheet. These are our competencies, and these are the ways we're going to do it. And here in Virginia, I have a high standard. I have high expectations. And if you want to work for me, you have to meet my expectations.
That's
and
good.
One of the things that the C-suite didn't always agree with me or understand, Dr. Jake, was how long I kept experienced techs on orientation. They said, wow, your experienced tech is still on orientation. It's been 3 months. Because when I let them go, my expectation is that they're going to do it right. And I cannot do it by allowing them just to run in and tell me they know how to wash their hands and go. I've got to be able to assess their ability to follow standards, rules, and to show me that they understand that you can make a mistake. We're going to embrace the mistakes, but we don't have time to be a mistake-driven department.
That's right.
Because when we make mistakes, we hinder people's lives.
That's right. That's right. Because as a leader, if you were promoted because of your ability, they will respect your boundary. If you were promoted just because you're the next available, they'll replace you with somebody else that's available. And so that's also what you have to do as a leader, and ask yourself, am I being promoted because of proximity, or am I being promoted because of ability? Because if I'm being promoted because of my ability, I have to have some gumption inside of myself that says that I can't stand for. If I'm going to sign off as Sharon Green Golden, Derek Jones, this is the manager, this is my leader, this is my lead tech, this is who's over Indo. These are people that I'm going to trust to do the right job without me looking at them, without me observing them or micromanaging them. I can't afford for my name or even the thought that I could bring harm to a patient because I wanted to catch and release because I was tired that week or I'm tired of doing the work. Well, you're going to stay tired because you're always going to be on them phones fixing problems if you don't onboard them correctly and hold them accountable for the length of time that is required. You're absolutely right, SGG. You keep them as long as you need until they are aware, because we cannot assume because you have the experience and because you know how to pass interviews. There are people that hire coaches on how to master an interview. If you're not somebody that has been inundated in that world, you think that you recruited a world-class person. And let me tell everybody something to be clear. The most talented people get recruited. You ain't got to fill out no application.
You're right.
You got to fill out an application. Derek Jones, you didn't fill out no application with SIPs. We came and got you, baby. Sharon Green Golden, you didn't fill out no application. We came and got you.
No.
So if someone's filling out an application going from one place to the next, that should give you a flag right there of where they may stand on the totem pole. And so that you're able to know anyone coming in needs to go through this process. DJ, you got any last words on that?
I think you touched a lot of souls with that. That on the sting a little bit, but that's okay. We got some people that need to work on themselves, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's the truth though, D. It's the truth. I was recruited. KCB found me on a podcast with my team. And we were going over things, within our organization. And KCB, Karen Cherry Brown, our founder, if you all don't know who she is, came and poached me in my entire team to say, hey, y'all come over here to SIPS. And she made an offer, her and Donnie, that we couldn't refuse.
Well, you're right, Dr. Jake, because, you said something that I just never thought about in all my years of working, because I'm old school. So I worked at one place for 24 years.
That's right.
I wouldn't be in posts because I just was working and moving. But my last job, a headhunter sought me out. And, and it was persistent until I came around to being willing to listen to what they had to say. And it wasn't until after I actually accepted the position that the company said to me, the team asked us to see if we could get you. And I was like, really? She was like, yeah. They asked us specifically if we could get you. Once I got that position, you're absolutely right. I got calls all the time saying, would you like to come and put it and work over here? Would you like to come and see what's going on over there? And of course, I was at the point where I wanted to do what was right, but I wasn't trying to build new buildings.
That's right.
In my lifetime. So there's been times when I've been willing to build the building from the ground up in sterile processing. Then there was that time where I became the revivalist. I'm coming through to straighten everybody out and move on. And then at this position, I really wanted to finally have a team that was compliant, that I felt we were doing what was right every day to the best of our ability. Every day, and that my team understood our purpose. And I think that when they don't understand their purpose, and their purpose is only about getting a check, you have a problem.
That's right. Okay. So I'm starting to understand why Ignacio only gives us 4 scenarios and 4 questions, because we don't need anything else. Ignacio is our executive producer, y'all. So this is okay. I just got excited because you're absolutely right. When you're in the top 1% of what you do, like you're really, really, really good.
Mhm.
Your first negotiations aren't really about money. It's not about salary caps and what can you match.
Mhm.
A matter of fact, I'll just be honest with you two. I've never had a conversation about money because someone who's truly valuable, they're going they know that conversation is going to come up because you know who you are actually getting and who you are. Matter of fact, my number one turnoff is that if the person begins to start asking about and standing on business about money more than culture, more than opportunity, more than growth, more than anything that matters to a 1%, it lets me know you probably aren't the type of talent that I think that you are. Because if you are, you already know that's a conversation we don't even have to have.
Mhm.
Because you will get an offer that you want, and we will find concessions to be able to make sure that you are good in your space. And if we don't have it, I respect you enough to say, hey, we don't have the budget that I believe that you are worth.
Mhm.
But this is what we can do in the interim to make it make sense until we can. And so I'm actually glad that you brought that up, because when you start really thinking about like leadership and standing on business and in processes and building a culture where excellence is required, the first thing I always think about is that. Matter of fact, Jethro gave Moses 3 concessions to look for when building a team. The first one that he said has a healthy fear of God, which means they have integrity. That's something you always speak about, SGG.
Yeah.
Regardless of where I am and who is looking, if I'm hired for this job, I'm going to do this job. Integrity, that's what matters. The second thing he said, someone who doesn't take easy bribes. Uh-oh. Now, this is someone who's not looking at an opportunity just for money. Because if they come to you for money, they're going to leave for another opportunity the moment they get offered a dime more, 10 cents more. They're going to. So we look at that thing, right? We say, okay, it can't be just about compensation, because compensation doesn't truly mean elevation. It doesn't mean that they care about, where the organization is going. And the third thing that Jethro in Exodus 18 that Jethro told Moses was make sure that they are capable. And I said this before in another episode, but you see I'm getting all wiggly jiggly because I love talking about the word, and I'm crazy too. But when we talk about capable, the definition of capable, can we go to class real quick, y'all?
Yes.
Can we go to class real quick? Now Sharon, it's SGG. I know. Listen. You just inspire me. You just inspire me, SGG. You always give me something that gives me something else. It's like you teach nuggets inside of nuggets. I just wanted to put this right. Capable. DJ, read that right here. What does capable mean?
Capable, having the ability, fitness, or quality necessary to do or achieve a specified thing.
Now. Okay, now SGG, read the second version.
Able to achieve efficiently whatever one has to do. Compliant. Competent.
All right, so now I got to stop real quick. How can you say that someone is capable to do a job if you haven't observed them doing the job before you release them to do the job?
You cannot. You cannot.
So scripture says, make sure that they are capable, which means they already have the innate ability. But the issue is we confuse in our departments, we confuse capable with willing. Uh-oh. I got to show you what willing means. Okay, DJ, what's this say?
You would make it bigger.
Willing, ready, eager, or prepared to do something.
Now, to do something could be anything.
That's right. Right.
Messing up is doing something, right?
I'm with it.
And so what happens inside these organizations, just like the scenario that just came up, it is obvious that this person hired people that were willing but not capable.
True.
And you can't observe, you can't trust, you can't give somebody, a shift without oversight, without hard coaching and training, without you having the ability to say, you know what, I actually haven't even realized if they're capable for the job.
Absolutely right. And you know what? During COVID, it was one of the worst times for us because we were doing interviews via Zoom. I cannot actively and competently assess your ability to be capable to do the job over Zoom because you can talk a good talk.
That's
and
right.
I needed to have people to come in and talk the good talk. And then I would literally, DJ, Dr. Jake, dress you out, sit you at a station, pull out the craniotomy tray and say, show me your capability.
Come on.
And, you would find that they weren't as capable as they said they were.
Come on.
Because anytime you got to keep asking me, what is this? That tells me that you weren't really doing as much as you said. You know a basic mayo scissor and you know a knife handle. But look, I need for you to know the facelift retractors when you see them.
That's
I need for you to know the brain spatulas when you see them.
Right.
And so you're absolutely right. And what has happened in our field is that we have always been encouraged to have a body. Doesn't have to be capable, just as you said, a willing body. Bring somebody in. They were digging ditches yesterday. Today you bring them into sterile processing and you say, this is how you wrap a basin. Can you start wrapping basins? I never was willing to do that because at the bottom of our line is a sentence that says, we take care of patients. Therefore, we have standards. We have best practice standards. We have procedures that you cannot go left when it says right. You cannot decide to make yourself a shortcut because you want it to be finished fast. Right. And I think that's one of the hardest things in sterile processing for people to understand. And when they do it wrong, DJ, they're angry when you call them on it. Why you call me on doing the tray wrong? Because you're impacting a patient's life. And I told you what the expectations were when you got here.
That's right.
I gave you 1, 2, 3, like Dr. Jake just gave us. I told you what was expected. It's documented, and I don't understand why you didn't do it. I just don't. With empathy, I'm not going to kill you the first time.
That's right.
Listen, have a little compassion. And some
empathy. I saw DJ over here like.
Go ahead,
I'm taking notes. I'm trying to figure out how some of these people's systems still operating under that COVID rule though, because they're still willing. They still want a willing body. We got to get past that. Yes. Bring us in. We'll help you get past the willingness, and we'll make sure your teams are capable.
That's right. That's right. So in that process, SG, let me ask you a question. And DJ, this is for you too. And yes, Ignacio, I'm going off script again. I do have a question. When you find out someone is capable to do the job, you have observed them, they've done everything right. They understand competence, they read the policies, the process, the policies, they're very aware. At what point is reprimanding them standing on business versus giving grace in coaching? Like, at what point do you say enough's enough versus this person still deserves coaching, guidance, and pushing them through versus saying, you know what, like this, I can't have you in my organization anymore?
You know, I'm from a hard school. I don't do well fostering complacency. I believe in telling people I have integrity, straight up, what I expect. I do understand we make mistakes. And I do believe, Dr. Jake, in taking a mistake and using it as a learning opportunity. But I told you when you came on, every instrument you touches a patient's body.
That's right.
There are consequences to your actions.
That's right.
How deep the consequence is where my my empathy and compassion comes in. Whether I have to make this a class 3 mistake, or whether I say, okay, I'm going to write you up and coach you this time, with the understanding that if this happens again, it's considered ongoing poor performance. And I'm going to have to be decisive and get you off my team.
That's good. That's good. DJ, you in the field every day.
Absolutely. So what I will say is having a level of grace for someone who makes a mistake, I feel is based on intent, right? No one or everyone doesn't intend to make a mistake. They don't intend to cause a defect with a tray or a process. So it's really about how it occurred and what was done. And then from that point, no one is absolved from being coached or corrected in this field or in any field, or especially in the workforce, right? Because we're held to certain practices and procedures in order to do our jobs daily. So everyone should be able to be coached. And if you're not willing and able to be coached, then you're just simply not the person for the job anyway. But like Ms. Green Golden mentioned, when it comes to patient safety, you have to be successful and to have great outcomes, because one mistake could cost a lot, whether it's a case delay, whether it's an SSI, or whether it's whatever harm it can bring to that patient. You have to have a level of seriousness to set the tone and establish that everything is important and that you will be held responsible, whether it's disciplinary action or whatever extremes you need to go to when a staff member or a team member makes a mistake. So, and that all starts from your leader. That all starts from you setting the table, establishing the level of importance, and you carrying out by you being the example as a leader, and ensuring, number one, that the staff has the necessary training and tools to do their job, but that they are performing the correct actions. And if not, that they are held accountable and they understand how to fix those things.
Man, both of you make amazing points. And you're right. And it brings me to this thought. Grace without a system is favoritism. Many organizations struggle because of a lack of a system. See, you can build grace in your system. And a lot of folks, especially when it comes to how we're running organization, we run organizations based on fields and not functions of a system. For an example, performance improvement plan is grace. Deciding what level someone's on is grace. Putting people, attaching them to do CEs or getting on a simulator to work on their simulation to make sure they're not making mistakes on trays, like what we allow for sterile matrix. A lot of hospitals can use sterile matrix for simulation if people are out of line to ensure that they're not missing any steps. That's grace. And I think that in that space, a lot of us think that documentation and writing up is bad.
No.
But as you said all the time, level. Level
Yes.
2, level 3.
Yes.
These are things, but if you don't have escalation protocol within your organization that says, hey, when I'm onboarding you, you know I'm tough. And when I manage you, your management skills and how you systematize grace will let your professionals that's in the field know how serious you are about patient care. Because depending on how much I feel like we need this tech, typically determines how much grace you give them. But if you have a system that can duplicate quality people, that can ensure compliance and structure, that institutes grace as a system, people know SGG is going to give everyone fairness by saying one mistake, there's no write-up, it's a course correction, we're doing it in service. Sign up. Second mistake, no problem. I'm writing you up, we're doing a PIP with another in service, with an observation period. Third mistake, regardless of how much we care, no matter how much I love you, no matter what's going on in your life and your family with your children.
Resume.
Yeah. Despite your resume coming with all these accolades, despite all of that, I have to now escalate it to level 3. And then such and such and such and such. Your last one, you're out. And this is what I like to tell a lot of folks. People that are consistently making mistakes when they know what to do only typically bring up that their mamas are hurting and people are, they dog, their granddaughter, they cat fell off the tree and missed the 9 lives. And my wife left me just yesterday with all 19 of our children. My best friend Bolo just lost his 3rd pinky toe, and my granny died for the 7th time.
Yes,
those moments only come up when they know they've been underperforming.
Yes,
because if those things mattered to you, you would have been doing your job in the way that you should have, and not force me to go this 4th level of grace. Grace is out. Grace is gone. Off the job.
Right.
So in this space, I think that as organizations, it takes the pressure off of somebody from getting that saying of favoritism when everyone is giving grace the same.
True.
When everyone is challenged the same, everyone's coached the same. Because what happens is now the standard is the same. Now, when you have an overperformer that never makes mistakes and they hit a slump versus allowing for them to stay in the field as a processor, I may take them out the field and let them go be OR liaison, bring my ORL down to do work so that I can get them out their slump before they make any other mistakes. You got to find ways to make concessions to move people around. But you have to have a system for grace, because grace is dependent upon how you perceive grace to be.
And you have to know your people.
That's right.
You have to know the people enough to know that something's wrong with DJ. Something's going on with DJ. Now, DJ has to be willing. I don't want to know your business, but he has to be willing to accept what I'm giving him to help him with his slump. DJ, I noticed that you've been making a lot of mistakes. What can I do to help you? This is grace. Do I need to change your shift? Do I need to send you to EAP? Do you need time off? Do you need emergency PTO? What is it I need to do for you? Because this is what I do know. I cannot afford, the hospital cannot afford, the patient cannot afford for you to make these mistakes every day.
That's right.
So now that I see something is going on with you, my grace allows you to accept this olive branch I'm giving you to do better, or as good as you are, you're going to be good enough to get a job somewhere else.
That's right.
Because you're going to have to get off my team.
Woo! You better cook. You just going to drop the mic like that.
Grace. Where's your grace?
I did it gracefully, though.
You were supposed to give us like the old Baptist pastor do. They give us 3 points of grace. I got 3 more points and I'm out. Everybody counting the 3 points.
No, because attention spans are short. You got to go ahead and give it to them. The attention span is short, But I think that when you know your people, you know that something is going on. They know something's going on. They have to be willing to share. Because understand, Dr. Jake, we started off saying, I told you up front what the expectations were. Nowhere in the expectations did I have a list that said, 1, you can make 10 mistakes before you get written up. 2, after you do 10, then we talk for 2. And 3, we go to human resources. No, this is your job description. Are you aware of what the job is? Are you aware of what can happen? And would you accept the mistakes you were making I saw someone write it, if your grandma died because of the mistake? Would you be willing to accept that? And you would. You'd be getting a lawyer. So the bottom line is that when you understand what it is you're supposed to do, and you don't do it, that is purposeful. Did nothing make you make that mistake? You took a shortcut. And this is what happened. It's not acceptable. We can't accept it. But we don't have to, as you say, I don't have to kill you this time. Gracefully, gracefully. But there is a limit.
Hey, DJ, SGG is like, gracefully.
Right.
But this gives me the perfect transition, because it makes me think about how much grace and standing on business should we do when communicating with our counterparts in OR. And I want to give an example, because you have your standard workflows. DJ is like, you have your standard workflows, and you have the things that make sure that your team is in line based on your standards and the way that you function. And like most facilities, the OR doesn't typically gel well with the workflow of the SPD and vice versa. So there's pretty much 2 separate teams running 2 separate plays that don't really combine other than technology exchange and huddles. So here's a situation where the OR requests an expedited tray that doesn't align perfectly with workflow, but won't technically compromise safety. What's the difference between bending as a sign of weakness versus bending as a sign of strategic leadership? And how do we explain that to our team so they don't think that the standards are slipping? Because, they're always looking for that time that we didn't adhere to the thing that we were supposed to. And this reminds me of a similar situation, SGG. So how do we dance on this? DJ?
Well, that's a tough one, only because in a sense, and it's just in my perspective, you're teaching your teams how to look at opportunities for shortcuts and processes by allowing these things to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if a scenario like this occurs, I would only look at how it impacts the patient in the room and the OR. Definitely, I would document. I would look at and definitely document all of the opportunities where we're bending and it's putting unwanted pressures on our department to serve, to our department to serve this OR and this patient to get them the things they need. And then I would simply, after we support that OR and helping them, because we're all aligned in successful outcomes with that patient and their surgery. But at some point, I would have to bring it to the attention of the leadership and do my investigation and then provide opportunities to prevent that from happening again. Ms. Golden?
Well,
Listen.
you're right. Listen, bending. That's not in our dictionary. I'm sorry.
I knew you were gonna say that. But
You don't want me to bend on your mama. I don't want you to bend on mine. The OR, if we've set the expectations right with the OR, and Dr. Jake, we have our policy and our procedure in place. This is what they know. If you need an instrument right away, I have a few questions for my OR team. Is the patient dying on the table? That's the first question.
Mhm.
No, I dropped it. I need it. We just need it. We have procedures in place that we need to follow. And if you give in and skirt the procedure per policy, Dr. Jake, you allow the OR to take control of your SPD at any time going forward and say, I need it. Right now, Dr. So-and-so is yelling and screaming. No, Dr. So-and-so, please call the CEO because we're standing on the standard here. Now, everybody can start signing papers. I got papers down here. You want something released quickly? We got some legal papers for y'all to start signing, and we're going to start getting stuff. But at the end of the day, this is the policy that the hospital said we're supposed to follow. The C-suite said I'm supposed to follow the policy. It didn't say I could bend it on your day because you need to get to the golf course. It didn't say I could bend it today because this ain't your friend and you just want to be through by 3 o'clock. So I can't bend it. I'm sorry. I have had doctors cuss me out because I said I'm coming. Now, I've told you all the story. The doctor that came down and told me what I needed to do. And in learning, Dr. Jake, I finally took that deep breath and said to him, wait a minute, let me get my tablet. Because you all heard me say documentation. I came back to him and said, sir, please tell me what you want me to do. I got to write it down. He said, write it down. I said, yes, I have to write it down for the lawsuit. He said, the lawsuit? I said, the one we're going to have when I tell the patient what you made me do. Because my integrity will not be compromised. You know we're not supposed to do this, but you're in charge, sir. And if you insist, I'm going to do it. I'm going to document it, minute, time, word. And you know, I'm one of the witnesses on the witness stand. They be saying, judge, tell her to shut up because I'm going to tell everything that you said do. So I think that we cannot, with integrity, bend unless I ask that first question, is the patient dying? And I've been working in SPD, Dr. Jake, for 40 years. And out of all the instruments that have ever fallen on the floor, been missing from the tray, whatever the reason, never once in my, this is just me, team, don't write letters. In my experience, never was the patient dying. I'm not bending. I'm going to process the instrument according to the procedure. And I'm going to bring it to you when it's ready. And Dr. Jake, 99.9% of the time, when you get there, they say, we don't need it. We moved on. We found something else that worked. And so if you had bent the rules, you would compromise that patient's surgery because you were trying to bend the rule because a doctor, the OR team was yelling and screaming. But I'm here to tell you, when things go south and you go to that sentinel event meeting, they will take that same bending that you did and kill you with it. That's all I got to say to you all. They will kill you with why? You knew you shouldn't have done it? Yes. Why did you do it? Because they were screaming. Why did you do it? Because the doctor said, but you knew he didn't know. Why? And at the end of that, you're the one that's hanging out by yourself. Everybody else is washed their hands and moved on.
Man. And it makes me think about, it's almost kind of like you know for a fact that people will save themselves,
Yes.
especially when there's no personal tie to you. And in that moment, they'll say, I adhere to, you know, what they gave me permission to do. Of course I asked, but I don't know. That's their specialty.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, without throwing you under the bus, you will be thrown under the bus. But it makes me think about this, because SGT, you have a very radical way of leading, and everyone doesn't quite naturally have the gumption or the will to do and take a stand like that. And some pushback that I would hear, right? If I was watching, oh, well, she said that she spent 15 years at one facility and 20 years at another one. So of course her tenure and their dependency on her allowed for her to do that. I'm only 2 or 3 years into leadership, and they replace leaders every 2 or 3 years. So I can't bend on that. Like, so what would you say to that person that's like, hey, I want to be like SGG. I want to stand for something. I want to be able to say, you know, this is what it is, and I'm not moving on it. What would you say to that person that wants to do that, but, you know, just doesn't have the same leverage that you know, that you had in your facilities?
I think you do have the leverage. I think at that point you bring everybody in. You say they want me to run this instrument wrong. OR director, OR manager, Dr. Booty Boo, everybody come. Let's all CE. Let's all sign off on this, that we're going to put this patient at peril because y'all told me to do it. Write this all down. So I have this for the lawsuit. I'm covering myself, and I'm out here for the patient. The mission statement at all hospitals, Dr. Jake, says we take care of the patient. And you're asking me to do something that is wrong. So everybody get to signing here on my paper. I agree, I agreed, I agreed, I agree. And then I'm going to say on my line, I did this under duress. But the CEO, the COO, Dr. Booty Boo, directors, all of them told me to do it. I wanted to keep my job. Therefore, I did it. I think that you have to let people know. I told you all, Dr. Jake, my last job, I said to them, and people understand, I understand that I am a different person, but I went in saying, my integrity will not be compromised. So if you want somebody that's willing to look the other way, I'm not the person for the job, because I'm going to tell you, I'll be on the news report with my head to the side, explaining what y'all doing at this hospital.
Not with your head to the side.
Head to the side, looking crazy, saying, listen, let me tell you what they do.
I'm still under duress.
Because it's not fair to the patient. And I think it's because I've been the patient. That's it. Head to the side on the news, telling them what they did. I think that you cannot put a patient's life in a compromising position because they said, because as you said, Dr. Jake, at the Sentinel event, they don't remember they said that.
That's right.
They only remember, Derek, they only remember you brought them the tray. And you brought it and it was wrong. That's all you said they could use it. That's all they're going to remember.
Yeah. And Angela said here in the comments, she said they will hit you with, no, that's not what I said. You misunderstood me. and unfortunately, then you're in a position to where the hospital is going to have to decide who they want to back. If it's a word, you know, word for word, if it's going to be my number one orthopedic surgeon or an SPD leader that they believe, I didn't say this, that they may believe comes a dime a dozen. It's harder to find a top tier orthopedic surgeon that's top in their class than it is to find, this is what they communicate, than it is to find an SPD leader. So you got to be sure. But one thing that I also do know is that you have to be open and willing to travel. There are jobs and opportunities all over the country. And if you're not willing to move or travel, then you may be in a position to where you may find a reason to kind of that you want to not say as much. But DJ, for those that are a little bit more softer,
DJ,
she got a lot of East Coast in her. You know, I need you to bring it for the people down south. You know, how would you, in the same way, say the same thing that SGG is communicating, but in a way that fits people that are a little bit more mild?
Well, so it'll just, I don't know. That's a tough one. So I guess my approach I would probably follow with documentation. I would probably say, well, Dr. Booty Boo, we're all going to lose our job, Doc, and I can't afford to lose my job. You know, my wife is pregnant. I got 19 kids.
My other granny just died.
I just cut off my big toe. And man, Dr. Booty Boo, if I reprocess this tray, we're all going, I'm going to lose my job and I'm going to lose everything, Dr. Booty Boo. So please reconsider. Here are some alternatives, but I can't bend the rules on this with Dr. Booty Boo.
You know,
that was good.
I think when doctors understand, Derek, you're good. When doctors understand that they're on the line also, they have a tendency to think critically about what they're asking. To those of you who are new managers 2 and 3 years, you have to, this is the problem. This is why I say you have to have experience. You have to know the standards and the rules yourself, or you have nothing to stand on.
Talk about it.
The problem is you don't know the rule, so you go along with the doctor. Didn't have a course in sterile processing when he was going to doctor school. He only knows what he heard from the OR. And they only know what they know. And so you're taking all of this non-knowledge, fake news, and you're putting a patient's life at peril. So I call it a cold pink. If you have a problem, realistically, Dr. J, you don't have to be Miss Golden. Call the director. Call the CEO and say, look, this is what I'm being asked to do. Do you all understand the gravity of what they're asking me to do? Help me, help me, help me. Because I don't want to do it.
Man,
I don't want to do it.
That's good. I think all in all, you probably hit the nail in the coffin to end this show, this episode with, if you don't know your standards, you have nothing to stand on.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
That's good.
That's good.
Let me get some hearts.
Yeah, that's very good.
All right, Jay, if you were to give someone a breath of fresh air or confidence that you could provide, you know, they're a leader, they're looking to try to make a stand. They're trying to raise the standard of quality and excellence in sterile processing. What would you leave them with if you were to leave them with something from this group? Man,
so and it's crazy because this morning I heard a very, very powerful quote. It's by a guy named Marcus Rogier, and he says, sometimes in life, people need you to happen so that they can happen. And that was very heavy for me because it tells me that you have to lead the pathway, be the example, and that could mean going the extra mile to get the education, to get the experience, to tap into the necessary tools you need to become a better leader and to become a better professional, so that you could present those that body and that that identity and makeup of what it takes to be a leader and what it looks like to do things right professionally and in the right manner. So what I will say to anyone who wants to be a leader and who has taken heed to many of the discussion topics we talked about today, to challenge yourself to go the extra mile to learn the necessary things, whether it's education, whether it's taking some various certification exams, healthcare leadership programs, whatever it is to help you become that better leader. And then be the example so that others would want to follow you. And so that also opportunities will flow into your life and you won't spend so much time looking for opportunities. So be the example that you desire to be.
DJ with that Investing 101 book that he has right there on his projector, because he knows how to grow his money. SGG for you, for that leader that's wanting to step it up, to raise excellence within their organization, to raise excellence to where they're respected within their facility. What would you say to that one person if you were to leave them with something this week? What would you say to them?
I want to say that, first of all, as a leader, as that leader, you have to work on holding people accountable. And if you hold people accountable, you will find that you have improved productivity. You will have better employee outcome because people want to do what's right. They just want to know how far you're willing to let them push you to wrong. You will have a team that you have stronger trust, and then you can have team collaboration. I think that at the end, you will have a team that engages in critical thinking skills. And when you have a team that engages in critical thinking skills, they have enhanced problem solving, meaning we don't just go do anything. We think about it. We assess this, what could go wrong, what will go right. And when we do that, unbeknownst to you sometimes in your team, you are building a team that has higher performance standards. And what you want to have as a leader is high performance standards that impact your patient's ability to have that surgery without anything compromising the outcome. You have to be willing to stand. As they would say, stand for something. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So you've got to determine, what do you stand for? Where's your line drawn in the sand? And once you know where your line is, make that line be the line for everybody that you're leading.
Well, I have nothing to give anybody after that. What I will say, what I will give you is access to your CEs. If you go to SPD911.com and join our community, you will be prompted to not only go to the section to where this episode is. There will be a question that you need to answer based on information that was given in the show. If you answer it correctly, you will then be given the code that you need in order to get your CEs. First and foremost, Sharon Green Golden, what an amazing job again. It's absolutely a pleasure to host this thing and to listen to your brilliance every day. And DJ, next episode, you're going to have to stop taking notes and give us some more of the game. Y'all, DJ was selfish today. He was taking notes for himself and not giving y'all the game. That's called accountability.
I'm always learning. I'm always in a learning mode.
DJ said, forget teaching. I'm about to write today. But DJ, I do want to
quiet storm. He's the quiet storm.
Yeah, that's why we call him our operational specialist. He don't want to talk much. He want to go do much. But everything that you provide and all the information that you give, DJ, is absolutely insightful. It's absolutely a pleasure to continue season 2 with you all. We'll see you all next week at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Share this with your upline. Share this with your friends. but most importantly, rewatch it for yourself. Take the nuggets that you missed and apply it to your life, your career, and your faith. We love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peace.
Bye.
SPD911 isn't just a show, it's your emergency response team for sterile processing. Having a diverse organization, people make the mistake in trying to make everyone the same.
SPD911, we stand.
Yeah, you're asking for a pay raise every year.
Heard the stories, seen the tears. Raw and real, we face the fight. Supporting each other, night and daylight.